Good morning, traders. It is 9:24, September 30th. The market's going to open soon, but I'm already done for the day. I'm really digging this pre-market trading. It's something I've gone back and forth with since I started trading, but now that I've got a good strategy in place for the pre-market specifically, that I can also apply to the intraday with just very few modifications, and keeping things simple is really the essence of good trading. But what this video is about is how to stay green on a red day. And what I mean by that is the markets, we haven't established what today's going to be like. They were red yesterday, but the pre-market is pretty crappy today. Like I said, I like pre-market trading, but we're getting tons of fake breakouts today and run-ups and then huge sell-offs. So no follow-through. Like here, I marked out a high right here, and it was kind of approaching it, never got to it. I took a little trade here, got some of that, and then this thing sold off. But I was out by that time. And let's just take a quick look. This is my watch list. These are kind of the best of the day, and you're going to see they're pretty bad. Another one, I mean, I don't even need to go further with this. You can see what happened. It hit the high pre-market, and then it just crashed. CTech, just popped up a few minutes ago on the scanner. I got a small profit on the breakout of one of these candles. I can't remember where, probably somewhere around here. But then what happened is it sold off. I wasn't trading the backside though, so I'm good. ITRM, I think kind of like a scratch on this one. I took a trade. I took one here for the breakout. There was a high of day. Let me see really quick here. Right here, was it? No, yeah, at 164. And I think I got in over here at 165, but this thing only went to 168, and then it did a little chop here. So, I got caught in the chop and got out for, I think, maybe like a 1 cent gain, but 3 cent loss after just the government fees, because there's no commissions on Webull. And that's part of the secret to staying green on a red day. This thing just sold off afterwards. I'm just trying to show you really quick that today was like a nothing day, an easy day to go red if you're not very careful, but still I managed to stay green. I missed this entirely. By the time I got to this stock, it had already passed this, so I didn't take any trades there. There could have been some opportunity here to get some nice gains off of this play, but I just missed it, and that's okay. That you can't catch every opportunity, and as soon as you start FOMOing this stock because you said, oh man, look, I missed this run up, and you're going to try to catch some reversal down here, that's when you just get eaten alive. Because look what happens. Let's say you try to buy the break of this level, and then it just chops around and then right back down, and this just kind of happens all the way till now. So this thing might take off at the open, you never know, but I'm just talking about the pre-market right now. So anyway, this is a tiny account, and I'm really just kind of working out my strategy with it, and I've really just very recently settled on a strategy that I'm working day to day, and so far I'm on a green streak for the week, even on a day like today. Although I had a tiny green day today, but it could have just as easily been a red day, especially if I was trading the way I used to trade. It would have for sure been probably a very big red day. So I'm going to show you right now. This is like all the crap that I was trying, the past few months, and failures and frustrations and stuff like that. And then this is just the last 3 days with this new strategy that I'm trying. And you can see that even today, although it's like a tiny green day, yesterday I had, for an account this size and not using margin and trading half of my account, and I only do 10% of my account per trade. Believe it or not, $1.36 is a good day. You see over here, it shows you 1.47% gain. Now that's on the total account. I can only trade half my account per day. So my real gain there is almost 3%. Because even though this looks like it's about a $100 account, it's really more like a $50 account because I can only trade half of my account per day. And the reason why that is because when you have a cash account, it takes 2 days for funds to settle. So if I traded my full account one day, I wouldn't be able to trade the next day, and I would miss opportunities. For example, Monday I had a fairly decent green day. My goal is like 50 cents while I'm around this $100 mark, because that's 1% of half my account. If you can get 1% a day in the long run, you're going to do really well. That's what I was shooting for in the beginning, and I got the account up to 130 in a few months. But I really wasn't quite sure what I was doing yet, and was still just trying, kind of random strategies and random things. And then, I think I got kind of tired of tiny gains and really lost perspective of things, and just pretty much lost it all, all my gains over time, and even came below $100 again. But you can see, as of the realization, this is like my last really bad day, and it was kind of like, I'm just thinking there's no way I'm ever going to be able to be profitable as a day trader. And then that was kind of like a wake-up call for me. It was like, hey, when are you going to get tired of losing money, and when are small green days going to be enough, when you're trading a new account? And I really just kind of totally revamped everything, and realized where I was going wrong, and worked out a strategy that has a much higher probability of success, but doesn't allow me to take so many trades. Makes me sit back and wait. There's lots of rules in place where I just have to watch things play out, and things have to happen in a very specific way before I can even enter the trade. And then the other huge thing, this is really the key to staying green even on a red day, which I would consider this pre-market a red day. You saw all those sell-offs. But instead of me taking a huge red day and wiping out my profits for the week, which are close. So if I get to 250, I'm at 5% gain for half my account, right? Which is, that would be awesome. If you could do that week over week, that would be great. So anyway, the trick to staying green on a day like today is just getting out of the positions as soon as you have the first inclination that they're not going to work out, that things aren't going to go the way you think they are. And the reason why I think a lot of new traders don't do that is because we're watching guys that are trading not just accounts with big funds in them, but the biggest difference is the big guys are all using brokers that have high commission fees. They're paying $2,500 a year for Lightspeed. They're paying, big chunks of commission, especially if they're shorting. They have to pay extra for shorting. So you've got these huge commissions and fees. So they have to make the trade work that they're in, or else they're going to lose. Like, let's say they get into a trade and it just chops around and they sell. They just lost, $50-$60 or maybe 20-30, depending on their share size, just because they got out of broke even because of their commissions and their fees. But if you're trading on something like Webull or Thinkorswim or some of these other free brokers, there is no reason to stay in a trade that's failing. Once you get, even if you end up being wrong and it went in your favor, you should get out. If you think that there's at least a 50% chance that it's going to fail, just get out, because it's better to have a break even, or maybe a tiny loss. Maybe I would have had like a 5 or 10 cent red day, which is not a big deal. But because we don't pay any commissions, we don't pay any broker fees. Every time I hit the sell button on Webull, I have to pay 2 cents in government fees, and that's it. So if I sell out at break even, the max that I can lose is 2 cents. So why the heck am I going to let the trade go against me and not sell out? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And that's what I used to do, and that's how I ended up giving up all my gains. So let me just look for a quick example. So here's the market open. I'm not even trading right now because I used up almost all my funds in the pre-market, which is fine. If you get really good at pre-market trading, it can be actually much safer than trading in the market, especially at the open, because at the open you can get stuck in halts, and there are no halts in the pre-market. So right there, is one thing that makes pre-market trading potentially safer if you know what you're doing. But let me just give you an example here. This one, so here's something I used to do. Let's say I saw this run, and then I would try to catch a pop back up on the backside. And let's see, I'm trying to look for a good example, because some of these may have worked out, but they don't work out often enough that you want to take trades on them regularly. Let's see. Oops. Look right here. TRM is suspended right now. Probably on the way. On the way up. Okay. So, but look, this is crazy because let's say you traded on this first 1 minute candle, and even if you bought for the break of this high and you're thinking, oh wow, I just made 14 cents on the per share, which it's not even really that much to be stuck in a halt. If you're stuck in a halt, I hope your gains are much more than that. But what can happen? It just came out of halt too, so we'll see. You can get stuck in a flush down. It's ramping up. This is an exception to the rule. You never know when this stuff's going to happen, but I don't like to be stuck in these halts because you just don't know which direction they're going to go when they come out of it. Let me just look back here at the. Yeah, so this is a perfect example. Let me just mark out one of the previous high of days. So $1.64 was the high of day at this point. So what I'm looking at now is for the break of that high of day. So I would get in at 165, and then right now I would get out as soon as I noticed that this thing's chopping around. But before, I might say, especially during the day, I would let me set a stop loss maybe down at the bottom of this candle and a price target, for 10, 20 cent gain or something like that. Probably not actually the price target. I would have put, like a 2-to-1 ratio of risk reward. And what would happen is that I'd just be sitting here watching this thing play out. It's not hitting my target. It's not hitting my stop. And then what does it do? It just comes down, and I would have gotten stopped out over here for a loss, a decent loss, because I would have got in at like $1.65, 66. So like a 15-cent loss. And that's how you throw away all your gains, is when these patterns that you believe in, you put faith in a pattern and it doesn't work out, but you stay in because you believe in the pattern, and that's it. That's how you end up red. And if you just get out once you sense that, okay, this thing's choppy, it's not feeling good, you're gonna stay green, or keep your losses super small, which is really the key to staying green in the long run. Here's one that people were talking about a lot in the during the pre-market hours today. And let's say you bought for the breakout of the high of this candle, more than likely you took a huge loss there. But if you're doing what I said, where you set up your hotkey so you can get in and out really fast, you can get out as soon as you sense that choppiness, and maybe even pick up a small gain on that first pop. But staying in these stocks, this is what's making people blow up their accounts. Like one day you get lucky and you get this huge gain because you sat in the stock, and then that makes you think you can just sit there and watch things play out every day. And these things don't happen every day. And if the people that are still sitting in it, they got in on this candle, they might potentially be flushed out down here. Or sometimes these things get suspended for hours and you're just sitting there. And how do you think you'll feel if maybe you're sitting on a huge gain? You've made $100 or $1,000 here, but you don't know what's going to happen when this thing resumes. It might give back all your gains. You might be in the red. So anyway, I think that's enough for that. I just want to show you one last thing, my orders for today, to show you just how quickly I'm getting in and out of these stocks when I sense that they're failing. So my last trade of the pre-market, I bought 3 shares I got in at 265, popped up. I got out, took a partial. I'm scaling out. So I took a 9 cent gain here. Then the thing popped back down. I'm not going to wait and see if this thing pops back up or if it flushes down and then gives back my 9 cent move there. I'm just going to get out because I don't have to worry about fees. I don't have to worry about commissions. And that's it. And I did get a very tiny gain there. But this is really the key. My biggest win today, and like I said, today was terrible in the pre-market. So, there just wasn't a lot of room for profit. Bought 3 shares at 330. The stock popped up. I got out with, scaled out for 1 share there with a 10-cent run because the thing started to chop around. And then, I was ready to sell more. If it came back down, it popped up again. I took another share out, and then it came back down. So this is an example. Like if I just wait, let me let it play out. Let's let the trade work for me. Yeah, that works sometimes, but not always. And those are the things people say that have to pay commissions and fees because they need to make at least enough to cover their cost of taking that trade. We don't. So we can get out. And look what happened. It goes right back down to 330. So if I just sat in this thing, and this all happened in the matter of 6:16 within 1 minute. Yeah. In fact, way less than 1 minute. I was in at 16 minutes and 22 seconds out, all out, 16 minutes and 38 seconds. So was that 16 seconds, I think? So if I would have let this thing play out, and I think this thing ended up flushing down after this anyway, I would have had a huge red day today. So I think I got the point across. This was a bad day. I didn't make, much, but I could have had a big red day if I was trading the way that I used to trade. I mean, you could see what was happening before. So, I took all these big losses that I didn't need to take. And that was all, okay, well, I bought in a stock, it's trending up. Everything looks good. All right, I got in and it started to fail. And no, but everything else looks good. Let me just stay and, I'll let it work for me. And, I'll set my stop loss at the low of the day or something like that. And then eventually it comes all the way down to the low of the day and hits your stop loss and you take a massive, 6-7% loss on your total account, which you should not be taking, especially when you don't have to, look, this is even worse. This is my worst trade ever. And this is when I was kind of like on the fence about just giving up altogether on day trading, but I'm not a quitter. So, I took that, that was like toward the end of the week last week. And I said, okay, this is my do or die time. I have to either revamp everything or give up on day trading because I'm wasting all this time for nothing. So, that's when I came up with my new strategy and new plan, and it's working out so far. So I'll keep you updated. We'll say it's still definitely not proven, but so far 3 green days in a row with a account this size. My goal for now is $250 a week. It's the 3rd day in and I'm already at $1.94. So, I'm heading toward that. And you might think that, man, how could you ever grow an account this size when you're trading like this and you're looking for 1% gain a day? You need to be putting in like 50% of your account in a trade so that you can grow it. That's how you lose your account. Sometimes it works out. You get lucky. But if you get in that habit and you continue to do that as your account grows, you're going to throw it all away. I've seen people do it time and time again. So the trick to growing a tiny account like this is once you've established a strategy and you've tested it, it works. And what I'm looking for right now to determine whether or not this thing actually works or not is I want to see week after week green and at least 2 months in a row that are green, because I think I did have 2 months, 2 green months here. Small green months, and then, things flushed out. But essentially the way, and, again, this is like me just trying all kinds of random things and getting frustrated and doing stupid stuff. But what my plan is to grow this account is that every month that I do turn in a green month, let's say I make $5 this month, $10, whatever it may be. and not September, obviously, but for October, if this strategy keeps working the way it is, if I turn in a green month in October, make $5, I'm going to put $5 in the account on top of that, and then you know, let's say I get back to $100 at the end of October, I'm going to add $5, I'll be at 105, and then let's say I make $10 the next month, so I'll be at 115, and then I'll add $10. I'll be at 125 by the end of November, and that's how you grow it. And I think that's the only way you can do it with these small cash accounts, because you shouldn't be adding money if you're losing money. And that's why, you know, like all these big losses here, I just took them on the chin, because, and I'm not gonna, you know, put this money back in there. I gotta prove that I have a working strategy before I add back. So anyway, this is how it's working out so far. You know, to this pre-market, there was really no opportunity. So this tiny green day is not a fault of the strategy, it's proof of the strategy. That, you know, even when the market isn't trading in your favor, you can still come away tiny green or very small red. That's the trick. Before, when if things weren't ideal in the market, I would have huge red days, you know, and then if things were like all the stars were lined up and I was doing things properly, then I would have, you know, a nice green day. So, but there's not enough days like that in the market, so that's no way to make money. Anyway, lots of talking in this video, but hopefully you learned something. So that's it. Good luck out there.